afternoon, everybody. Thanks for being here today. I'm Samantha, and along with my teammates Paige, AJ, Rachel, Christina, and Andrew, we make up the team HODynamite. We are all 6 very different individuals, but we all have one commonality. Throughout our time as undergraduate students at Vanderbilt, we've all been criticized for being an HOD major at some point in time. So, we're working together to improve the reputation of HOD. Today we're going to walk you through why we have decided to tackle the issue of improving HOD's reputation around campus, what we did in order to shine more positive light on the HOD program, how effective our campaign was, and what we've learned about team process as a whole. First and foremost, let's take a look at what current Vanderbilt students have to say about the HOD major, unbiased and unscripted.
Gotta love computers, right?
I mean, there's that body. I don't know specifically what, like HOD, I guess. Sure.
HOD.
Definitely HOD.
HOD. From what I've heard, it is probably behind your T-body against HOD.
HOD probably?
From what I've heard, I would go with HOD. Yeah.
Honestly, I could think of it as like an athlete major.
I hear that they're like top at some events, you know, like HOD, top at some events. I feel like HOD, a lot of people kind of like fall that onto that.
It's not fact-based.
Crappy business.
People that don't want to do as much work as others.
We go to all the events.
Is it? Okay, that's horrible.
I feel like on HOD writing a paper, I can just easily write something up, make something up every time.
So what do you think the problem is? Clearly, HOD has a bad reputation on campus. Many students categorize HOD students as unintelligent, lazy, and entitled. If that's not a slap in the face, I don't know what is. And the worst part is, most people hold this stereotype without actually knowing what the HOD curriculum is. So, we decided to take a further look at the problem and look on collegeconfidential.com, an online website firm for current college students and potential students to look at and discuss problems within their campus. So, in regards to the HOD major at Vanderbilt, many students complain that the HOD major is a joke, the easiest major on campus, and not legit. They even held a stereotype that HOD majors were the coloring book major, that all we do in class is finger paint. And I don't know about y'all, but nobody's ever handed me a pair of scissors to cut a pretty border on one of the 20-page papers that I've turned in for HOD. But we also found this stereotype in newspapers around Vanderbilt, stating that HOD stood for HODum instead of Human and Organizational Development. One student even went on to say that I think the HOD major is a complete mockery of Vanderbilt University as a whole. These individuals have no interest in intellectual development and are given a free license through the HOD program to spend the time that they should be pursuing legitimate academic endeavors, intoxicating themselves, and degrading their intrinsic moral worth, of which they lack the consciousness to comprehend. So, after reading all of these very nasty comments, we decided to conduct a survey of current Vanderbilt first-year students to see if their numbers matched up with what we read online. And now AJ is going to discuss our findings.
Like Sam said, we wanted some concrete data to show that this is really a problem. So we took a survey of about 250 students. Now just for a moment, let me split the room into 2 groups, this half being one group, this half being the other group. Assuming that this room is representative of the survey, this half of the room would have said that HOD is the easiest major on campus. That's an astonishing amount of people who think that HOD is the easiest. We also asked a question about stereotypes about HOD. 63% of our respondents said that we were not smart, and 50% said that we were just plain unintelligent. Wow, that's a lot of people who think we're not smart. But on the bright side, 56% said that we were outgoing, so that's some consolation, right? We asked another question, which was, how much do you know about the HOD major compared to other majors on campus? We got some pretty interesting responses. Students think that they know more about the HOD major than they know about other majors. Now this could contribute to the problem because students think they know more about the HOD program than they actually do. Next we asked the question, how time-consuming is your major compared to the HOD major? The vast majority, 71% of respondents, said that their major was more time-consuming than HOD. So guys, we got a few data trends here. Males have a less favorable view of HOD than females. Course content is rated as the main reason HOD seems the easiest. And finally, 26% of people in the survey were unsure if our major was even a worthwhile program here at Vanderbilt. So clearly there's a problem in all this. And now Paige is going to tell us what our goal was.
Alright, so the premise of our solution is that the more you know, the less you make up. Having said that, our goal was to increase student awareness of the rigor, benefits, and curriculum of the HOD program. In turn, we hypothesized that this would increase the overall reputation of HOD on campus. Specifically, our goal was to improve HOD's reputation among 30% of first-year students. We decided to target first-year students in the hopes that if we could change their opinions for the better now, they would carry this positive outlook with them for the rest of their undergraduate career. We did this by launching a multimedia campaign consisting of posters, an event, and a website. Why a multimedia campaign? We found that it would be the most effective way to reach the greatest amount of people in the shortest amount of time. But we wanted to find some empirical evidence to support this. In a recent study at another university, it was found that over 70% of students believed that a poster campaign was an effective way to change students' opinions on a college campus. And this might sound like a no-brainer, but over 90% of teens and young adults access the internet, which is why we decided to create a website. First, I'll tell you about our posters. Our posters consisted of 11 quick facts that were posted around campus. We put them in common dorms, on trees, bulletin boards, in the common center, and we posted on our Twitter. Here are some examples of the posters that you might have seen around. Next, we decided to organize an event. Our event consisted of a panel of 3 highly successful Vanderbilt seniors that were recommended to us by the department. We advertised our event with table tents in the Commons Dining Center, a Facebook event, a post on our Twitter, posters, as well as a specialized section on our website. So here's our panel. Tori, Caitlin, and Danielle. As you can see, they already have some great jobs lined up for when they graduate this May. Virtually everyone who attended our event agreed. Much could be learned from hearing from these successful seniors. One of the seniors said that HOD 1000 was one of the most influential courses that she had taken in her undergraduate career at Vanderbilt. Another said that it was critical for her to learn about how to market herself to future employers using resume critiques and informational and mock interviews. She also said that the same classmates that ridiculed her for talking about her feelings freshman year were the same classmates coming to her as a junior and senior looking for advice when it came to applying for jobs. Finally, we launched a website, www.vandyhod.com. Our first section was quick facts. In this section, we reiterated some of the facts that we had on our posters around campus for students that weren't able to see them. Next, we did a section we entitled The Dirt. In The Dirt, we debunked some of the common myths about the HOD program, such as HOD students having much lower SAT scores than other students at Vanderbilt, and the admission standards to get into the HOD program are much lower than they are for other programs at Vanderbilt. We also have a Profiles in HOD section. In this section, we detailed some current HOD students and their campus involvement as well as their experience with the HOD program. We also reached out to over 30 successful graduates of the HOD program and posted their profiles online. We asked them 2 questions. How has HOD contributed to your success in your career? And do you have any advice for current students at Vanderbilt, whether you're HOD or not? All their advice was really helpful, and we talked to a wide variety of people in different fields. We had a profile from the PR director of Ellie Tahari and an HR coordinator at Armani. And here you can see a profile from a presidential management fellow at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Finally, we have a resources and faculty interview page. On this page, we posted an interview with the director of the HOD program, Professor Brian Griffith, as well as a link to the official Vanderbilt HOD homepage and 2 videos, including a video that details employers' thoughts about HOD interns and hires. So now that you've seen what we've done for our campaign, AJ will tell you exactly how effective it was.
Again, we wanted to get some concrete data about how effective our campaign was, so we sent out a survey to about 100 students. 70.2% of those students said that they had read our posters, and 29.2% of the students we surveyed said that they had an improved opinion of HOD after our campaign. 91% of the attendees at our event said that they had an improved opinion of HOD after the seniors spoke, and we have over 3,000 hits on our website now. And again, nearly 30% of people say that they have an improved opinion of HOD after our campaign now. We were noticing that we were getting hits on our website from not just campus, but around the country. And we thought maybe this could be a tool for prospective students and also current HOD students to find out more about the major. As soon as you type in Vanderbilt HOD on Google, Vandy HOD is one of the first things that comes up. Also, for those of you who missed our event, look forward next week in lecture to the seniors coming back as they volunteered to come and talk to us again. Throughout this process, we learned several lessons about group dynamics. The first of those being that the forming stage of development is very inefficient. Don't load work on the first part of the project. Very little work gets done, norms aren't set, and it's just very inefficient in general. But one thing that did help us through that forming stage was the idea of establishing norms in the first meeting. This allows members to know exactly what is expected of them and exactly what is acceptable in the group. Finally, managing the borders of our group was very important because there was so much coordination that had to be done outside of the group members. So without proper management of the borders of our group, there's no way that we could have done the project as we did. In our project, we faced several challenges, one of them being that our posters were vandalized. And guys, this is one of the tamer posters, okay, that was vandalized. Here you can see that economics is replaced with color and political science is replaced with nap time. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I checked yesterday on Yes, coloring and nap time were already all full, so I won't be taking any of those. Also, the reason that 30% is so significant is because people are very resistant to change their opinion, as seen in one of Professor Griffith's lectures. It's very hard to change entrenched ideas, and that's why 30% is kind of a pretty effective number. And also, we frankly just received some insulting survey responses that kind of disheartened us, as you saw an example earlier. So in conclusion, we identified a problem. HOD has a bad reputation on campus. Our solution was we ran a multimedia campaign to educate people about HOD and to improve people's opinions about it. We got 30% of students to view HOD more favorably after our media campaign. And then finally, we learned valuable lessons about team dynamics. Now, clearly there's a problem with HOD. We encourage you to visit vandyhod.com and to continue to spread the word about HOD around campus. This is our program. You've seen what we've done. Now it's your turn. Thank you very much for listening.